So once you get that passed, can we take about 3 or 4 minutes just to? I want to lob you some interview questions so people that are um, learning this, and they can experience what an interview like this would be for a new programmer coming out of some type of educational body. So Nick, we use a type of programming called testing called arrange, act, assert. Can you show me how your test follows arrange, act, assert?
Okay. Yes. So I'll take an example here. Um, so arrange would be setting up just to act and assert.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the example. Like these are both the act of arranging and acting. So the arrangement could conceivably be this. Okay, just declaring the string, the result string. We act on the code under test, and we assert the result.
Mm-hmm.
So that's arrange, act, and assert.
Great. So another pattern another team uses at our organization, Canton Coders, is called given when then. Does your test fit that pattern?
Given then when it could, but it's not really suited for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So given then when is given.
Is that the same pattern almost?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So arrange would be given, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
When?
That's right.
Yep.
Given. That's when. This is the given when then.
Yeah, given when you do this. Yeah. That's the conversion. When you do the conversion, then your assertion. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that works.
Mm-hmm. And then the other interview question I've asked, and chime in if you're ever interviewed someone with some other easy intro stuff, is how do you name a test?
There are various schools of thought here. In this example, I just chose, well, let's just call it what it's doing. It's like we're converting a number 1 to the Roman numeral I, right? So it just tells you, hey, we're doing that. It's sort of, others might say, put a prefix test. Some people do that.
What?
Sorry, a suffix test. They could do that.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that was necessary here.
Yeah. Well, does it need to say test? But I mean,
I think
so. Yeah, that should make it pretty apparent, right? That the class is.
Some of the frameworks you work in may require you to label a test actually with test in the name.
Okay. Well, what about having the naming convention reflect the outcome that you expect to have happen, so that when you read it, it almost reads like natural language?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Great answers. And I have a couple more things. I want to throw it to Gugu though, because I know in his day job, and don't mention where you work because we don't really care, but I know you actually do interview and hire people in real time. You probably hired more people this year than I did in the last 5 years. What are some other questions you would ask around testing, Gugu? Is he on mute?
I just want to carry on from what Tom said. I think one part of it is the outcome, but also what's the input, right? Given the input, then I work primarily in Java, and when I look at my test results that are created, I want to see the name of the function, what was given as the input, and what was the expected result. All those three pieces.
Wow, in the name.
Could you do
Name.
that, Nick?
Yeah.
Could you write that out as a function name so people can see an example of it? None of this is right. None of this is wrong. All of this is
Yeah.
flavors.
Absolutely.
So describe that again, Google. Gugu.
Well, like the convert number to random numerals. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll put, as part of the name, I'll put in what my arrange statement is, as far as I'm passing null and my result is expected to be X. And then I'll have another function which is similar, and this time I'm passing a positive number, and I will describe that the result has to be X. Sometimes with the assert, at least with Java, with JUnit, I don't need to do that sometimes, because in the assert, I can give the statement that says what I expected and what my expected result is. Whether it's pass or fail, I still get that in the message, in the reports that I read.
Mm-hmm.
The important thing, I guess, is for me, I'm not doing the day-to-day unit tests, but I am very critical and looking at the results. I want the results to tell me something and tell me what to act on right away. So as much as I can give in the function name or the assert, the result that comes out, pass or fail, is usually helpful.
So what you're saying is, when you get the report that the test doesn't pass, it says, given, when we give the number 3 in, we expect I, and if it's red, you already know, well, that test is broken, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, and then so then if you were doing something a little more complex, would that be something along the lines of password reset is not working? Like, given a valid password, when we submit it, we should get a 200 response, and then the test would say that doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, I want to read the name of the function and understand what I'm getting from the test.
Any other
from
questions?
What was inputted and what was the expected result.
Wonderful. Gugu, and to close it out, are there any other questions? I know you're a hiring manager. What are your go-to testing questions for new developers?
I like the AAA for sure. The GWT, I think it's an advanced topic, but it's also a question. I think some folks will say GWT is more for behavioral testing, and AAA is just unit testing. Yeah, what's the difference, right? Yeah, depends. But I liked, when I ask those questions, I can tell the level of the developer based on their answer. If they even know the difference, or if they've even seen the two flavors. That's all I'm looking for. The specifics are arguable, but I want to understand that they've seen the two flavors.
Anything else, Gugu? I mean, I know there's some people here that I mentioned that they're looking for their first job, and then we just wanted to make this context specific for them, so maybe they can take a spoonful of this knowledge and apply it to their future.
Yeah, the other thing I think with unit tests, I like parameterized tests, and I'm talking from the JUnit perspective. Mm-hmm. I want to see different inputs applied to the same function multiple times. So the unit test should test the happy path, but also should test the edge cases and the above and below edge cases, whatever the case may be. It's not enough to just test the happy path.
Wonderful. Maybe next week on Tuesday, we'll have to figure out someone that can deliver that. We'll talk about, this is basic testing. We can do slightly less basic testing or something along the lines of that. Taking this muse that we've been working on, maybe Nick, if you would like to do it again, that's awesome. If not, we can find someone to do it and build upon this and help everyone get better at testing, and maybe they can apply it forward and use it in the future.
Yeah, this is great, by the way. Thanks, Nick, for
Maybe we can
presenting
get
it.
Gugu to teach it.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I posted a solution, so feel free to, it's in the chat.
Mhm.
It has multiple check-ins that show how this progressed. And so kind of didn't get to that demonstration tonight, but if you have a look in there, you'll be able to see that. And I'm happy to continue this as well on another session as well.
Yeah. And by the way, when I mentioned what I prefer, I was also looking for rebuttals from all of you. Just kind of get what your thoughts are. That's just how I do it, but I'm certainly flexible and interested in hearing what other folks, how other folks approach it.
Naming
And,
will always be an argument. Best
yeah.
out over an adult beverage.
Yeah, well, that and a bunch of examples, right? A bunch of examples is always helpful. This is why this is good for this. This is why this is good for that, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, Nick, I cannot thank you enough tonight. How do we get a hold of you? So we know sometimes we get 4 hits on a video, sometimes we get 4,000 hits on a video. If people want to get a hold of you, type in your contact information in the middle of the screen.
I will just direct people to connect with me on my favorite social media platform,
MySpace?
which is LinkedIn. Thanks for the joke, but it's LinkedIn. So just look for Nick Zdinic there on LinkedIn. I will get you a link into the show notes, so to speak, and you can connect with me there.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Nick. Don't forget, when you're watching on YouTube a year from now, to like and subscribe, and all those details are below. And next time you dial in, Nick and I will have less hair.
And since Joe can't thank you enough, I'll add some extra thanks.